My dear students of Standard 9, here I am to take your chemistry class. Welcome back to my class. Dear students, here look these two pictures. In this picture, some ice cube is melting for heating, and here for continuous heating, water is boiling and becomes gaseous. Now look carefully. When heat is given to this ice cube, all the cubes don't melt at a time. That means at the same time, all the ice cubes don't melt. It takes some time to melt completely. In the same way, while boiling water, it also takes some time. That means all the water does not become evaporated at a same time. Here, just at 0 degrees Celsius temperature, the ice cube starts to melt. And the temperature remains same until all the ice cubes don't melt. But in this time, the supply of heat is not stopped. It is given here. Here, this heat is used to change the state of matter instead of changing temperature. In case of boiling also, when temperature reaches at 100 degrees Celsius, then water starts to boil. But the temperature does not change until all the water becomes evaporated. Here also, the heat is consumed by water to change its state without changing temperature. This heat is called latent heat. That means the amount of heat that is consumed by the matter to change its state without changing temperature. This amount of heat is called latent heat. So dear students, from the above two pictures, it is shown that the melting point of ice is 0 degrees Celsius and the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. And also, we can tell that the amount of heat that is absorbed or released by a matter to change the state of it without changing its temperature is called latent heat. Here, when ice starts to melt or water starts to boil, some heat is consumed by them to become completely liquid or gaseous. This heat is latent heat. Here also, we saw the picture. In first picture, we saw that some ice cube is melting, and in second picture, we saw that water is boiling. But when water vapor is condensed to make liquid, and liquid becomes solid, then also the matter releases some heat to change its state without changing temperature. This heat is also called latent heat. Now, today our main topic is heating curve. We will read about heating curve. Heating curve is a calibration curve that is drawn by putting the data of changing temperature on heating a matter. Here, on heating, the temperature starts to rise. So, here on x-axis, the amount of heat is given, and on y-axis, the change of temperature is given. And this type of curve is drawn, that is called heating curve. So, heating curve of water. When water starts to heat, when water is heated, then this type of curve is found. Look here, suppose here the temperature of ice cube, here ice cube is heated. The temperature of ice cube is minus 40 degrees Celsius. And heat is given, so the amount of heat is increased and the temperature is also increased. But when the temperature goes to 0 degrees Celsius, then the ice starts to melt. But the heat is not, the giving heat is not stopped. So here with increasing heat, the temperature doesn't increase and it remains same at 0 degrees Celsius. But when the all ice cube becomes melt or it becomes water, then the temperature again starts to rise, and up to 100 degrees Celsius it is increasing, and at 100 degrees Celsius again the heat is increased, the heat is given, but the temperature doesn't increase. So this type of straight line we found there. Here the temperature remains same at 100 degrees Celsius, and when the full amount of water is evaporated, then the temperature again starts to rise, and you will heat the gas steam in a closed container, then its temperature becomes increase. Same curve here. Here just I have given point here, just from here the temperature is increased, and when it goes to there, then the temperature doesn't increase but heat is given here. So this AB point, it is the solid state of matter because AB is the ice, and when it goes to B, that is 0 degrees Celsius, it starts to melt. That means BC is the melting point. Here this BC, it is the mixture of ice and water. Some portion of ice becomes melt and some portion of ice it remains as ice. So it is the solid and liquid state of matter. It is the mixture. And when full ice becomes melt at point C, then again the temperature becomes increased, and CD, it is liquid state of matter, liquid state of water, it is water. And at point D, the temperature goes to 100 degrees Celsius and it becomes evaporated, and DE, it is the boiling point, the temperature remains as 100 degree, but it is the mixture of liquid and gas, some water and some steam. And at point E, the full amount of water becomes steam, and again the temperature is increased at EF. It is the gaseous state of matter. So here AB, that means temperature, that is minus 40 to 0 degrees Celsius. It is the solid state of matter, that means ice. BC, it is temperature 0 degrees Celsius. It is mixture of solid and liquid. It is the melting point. So it is the mixture of ice and water. CD, the temperature from 0 to 100 degrees Celsius. It is the liquid state of matter, that means it is water. D, the temperature, it is 100 degrees Celsius. It is the mixture of liquid and gas, that means water and steam. It is the boiling point of water. And EF, its temperature more than 100 degrees Celsius. It is the gaseous state of water, that means it is steam. Now dear students, look at BC and DE. With heat, temperature doesn't increase. That means here heat is given but the temperature is not changed. Here the heat that is used to change the state of the matter, that means at BC ice becomes liquid, and at DE liquid water becomes vapor. It is the melting point of ice and it is the boiling point of water. Here the heat is used to change the state of matter. This heat is latent heat. So this is the heating curve of water, and if you know the melting point and boiling point of any matter, you can draw the heating curve of that matter. Again the heating curve of sodium chloride, where the melting point of sodium chloride is 801 degrees Celsius and the boiling point of sodium chloride is 1465 degree Celsius. Look, this is the heating curve of sodium chloride. At 0 degree Celsius temperature, when sodium chloride is heated, then with giving heat, the temperature becomes increased, and when it reaches at 801 degree Celsius, then the salt starts to melt. At that time, the full amount, until the full amount of salt doesn't melt, the temperature is not increased, but the heat is given here. Here, this is the mixture of solid salt and liquid salt, and CD, it is the liquid salt where heat is given and the temperature becomes increased, and at point D, the liquid salt starts to boil. So DE is the boiling point where the liquid and gaseous salt is present, the mixture of liquid and gaseous salt. If at that point the heat is increased, heat is given, then the temperature again becomes raised. So here AB, where the temperature is from 0 to 801 degrees Celsius, it is the solid state of salt. BC, its temperature 801 degrees Celsius, that is the melting point of salt, and it is mixture of solid and liquid. CD, the temperature becomes 801 to 1465 degrees Celsius. It is the mixture of liquid and it is the liquid state of salt, CD, and DE, that is temperature 1465 degrees Celsius. It is the mixture of liquid and gaseous state of salt. Now, condensation. Already in previous class, we learned melting and boiling. Condensation and freezing, these are two opposite phenomenon of melting and boiling, where condensation is the opposite of boiling and freezing is the opposite of melting. Condensation, it is the process of transforming a gaseous matter into liquid by lowering temperature is called condensation. That means opposite of boiling. In boiling, liquid matter is converted to gas, but in condensation process, gaseous matter is converted to liquid by lowering temperature. At normal pressure, the temperature at which a gaseous matter turns into liquid is called the condensation point of that gas. And most interesting matter is that the condensation point and the boiling point of a same matter is same, of a particular matter is same. The condensation point of steam is 100 degrees Celsius. We know that the boiling point of water is also 100 degrees Celsius. That means at 100 degrees Celsius temperature, water starts to boil, and also at 100 degrees Celsius temperature, steam starts to condense. So, the boiling point and condensation point of a particular matter is same. Like water, all the matter has same boiling point and condensation point. Now, freezing. I told that freezing is the opposite of melting. That means the process of transforming a liquid matter into solid by lowering temperature is called freezing. That means when solid becomes liquid, it is called melting, and the process where liquid becomes solid by lowering temperature is called freezing. Here also the temperature at normal pressure, the temperature at which a liquid matter turns into solid state is called the freezing point of that liquid. And also the freezing point and melting point of a particular matter is same. That means the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. We know that the melting point of ice is also 0 degree Celsius. So we can tell that the melting point and freezing point of a particular matter is same. Now cooling curve. Like heating curve, we can also draw cooling curve. In heating curve, the matter is heated and the temperature becomes raised. But in cooling curve, the matter is cooled down and the temperature becomes decreased. Here look, on heating curve, on x-axis we put the heat content and y-axis we put the temperature. But for cooling curve, we will put time and temperature. No need to put the heat because here heat is decreased, so no need to put here. Here with time the temperature becomes decreased. Look here, a gaseous matter at the temperature is 200 degrees Celsius, the gaseous matter becomes cooled down and with time the temperature becomes decreased. At 150 degrees Celsius temperature, the matter starts to condense. Here AB is the gaseous matter. Here B is the condensation point of the matter. But from B to C, with time, the temperature does not decrease because it is the condensation point. At point C, the matter is completely becomes liquid. So, CD, it is the liquid state of the matter. Here, CD, that means it is the liquid state. At point D, it starts to melt. So, here in CD, with time, the temperature becomes decreased. But D, with time, the temperature doesn't decrease because it is the freezing point of the matter. Here, with time, the temperature doesn't decrease. But if it is the solid state of matter, here again the temperature starts to decrease with time. So it is the cooling curve of the matter. Look students, when you will draw heating curve, then you will start the curve from here because the temperature becomes increased due to heat. But for cooling curve, the temperature becomes decreased. So you will start the curve from higher temperature. Here the curve will make you more clear. Here this is the gaseous state of matter and this point it is the mixture of gas and liquid because it is the condensation point. Here the matter starts to condense. Here this is the liquid state of matter and it is the freezing point of the matter because here the matter starts to freeze. It is the mixture of liquid and solid and this is the solid state of matter. So here AB is the gaseous state, BC it is the mixture of gas and liquid, CD it is the liquid state of matter, DE it is the mixture of liquid and solid and EF is the solid state of matter. Now distillation. What is distillation? The process of heating a liquid and turning it into gas is called evaporation or vaporization. You know this. And again, if we cool that vapor, the vapor turns into liquid. This process is called condensation. So, the process of heating a liquid into vapor and converting the vapor into liquid is called distillation. That means distillation is the combination of vaporization and condensation. At first, a liquid is heated to make it vapor and again the vapor is condensed to make it liquid. The full process is called distillation. That means distillation equal vaporization plus condensation. And another process that is sublimation. What is sublimation? Look this picture. Here some solid matter becomes evaporated because here you will see some smoke here. That means it turned to gas. The solid matter starts to evaporate, but there is no liquid state. That means when a solid matter is heated, we know that solid starts to melt, and after some time we will get liquid state of that matter. But there are some matter where when you will heat the matter, then it will not become liquid. It will directly gaseous from solid without being liquid. These substances, these are called sublimating matter. These are some exceptional substance, and the process is called sublimation. The process in which a solid matter is directly converted into gaseous by heating without being liquid is called sublimation. Here a solid matter is heated and it directly becomes gaseous without being liquid. The components that turn directly gaseous from solid without being liquid are called sublimated substances, or they are also called sublime. For example, ammonium chloride NH4Cl. It is also called Nishadol. It is a sublime. That means when you will heat ammonium chloride, it will never become liquid. It will be directly gaseous from solid. Camphor. The chemical formula of camphor is C10H16O. Camphor, Bangla meaning Korpur. May you heard the name. Naphthalene. It is chemical formula is C10H8. Solid carbon dioxide. It is also called dry ice. Iodine. Normal element iodine. Aluminium chloride. AlCl3. All these are the examples of sublime. That means they all are solid matter, and when you will heat them, then at very low temperature they becomes gaseous from solid without being liquid. Now, heating curve and cooling curve of sublime. When you will heat any solid matter like ice or sodium chloride, then they become liquid and then they become gaseous. So, for heating curve of any solid matter, you will get 3 steps of the curve: AB, CD and EF. There are 3 steps. But for heating curve and cooling curve of sublime, you will get only 2 steps, because there is no liquid state. So you will not get the second step on its heating curve or cooling curve. Look here, this is the heating curve of a sublime and this is the cooling curve of a sublime. When any sublime or any solid substance, when it is heated, that means sublime solid substance, when it is heated, then from A to B, the temperature becomes increased. But at point B, it starts to sublimate. That means it is the sublimation point of this sublime. It becomes gaseous here. Here BC, here the temperature doesn't increase because it is the sublimation point, and the full amount of sublime becomes gaseous at point C, and then it is the gaseous state of this sublime. Here the temperature again starts to increase, but there is no liquid state of this sublime. Here we get only 2 steps in this curve for sublime, AB and CD. So it is the heating curve of a sublime. In the same way, it is the cooling curve of a sublime, where it is the gaseous state of sublime, and when this sublime is cooled down, at that point it starts to freeze, and it is the freezing point of sublime, and here it is the solid state of that matter. Here also no liquid state is found. So here first figure is given here. AB is the solid state of that matter. BC is the mixture of solid and gas, because here the matter starts to gaseous. So BC, here it is the mixture of solid and gas. And CD, it is the gaseous state of that matter. Now, separation of sodium chloride and ammonium chloride from their mixture, or you can tell separation of any normal solid matter and sublime matter from their mixture. So when sodium chloride and ammonium chloride are mixed, then how will you separate both of them from their mixture? Look, when the mixture is heated, the melting point of sodium chloride is 801 degrees Celsius. So huge amount of heat is needed to melt sodium chloride. But ammonium chloride, it is a sublimated matter, it is a sublime. So at very low temperature, it becomes evaporated. So when the mixture is heated, then at very low temperature, ammonium chloride is vaporized, and if we collect the vapor, then we can get solid ammonium chloride from there, and sodium chloride, it will remain at the pot. So in this way, we can separate sodium chloride and ammonium chloride from their mixture. Ammonium chloride is a sublime, so when the mixture is heated, ammonium chloride is evaporated and also it is cooled down, and sodium chloride remains at the dish. Look, in this way, we can separate both the matter from their mixture. Here, when this is heated, one funnel is used here, so the vapor, it goes, but there is a cotton here, so it does not go outside, it remains on the funnel, and after some time it becomes cooled down and it is separated from sodium chloride, because sodium chloride, it remains on the dish. In this way, ammonium chloride and sodium chloride are separated from one another. So dear students, today up to this, we have completed this chapter, second chapter. Next class, I will explain the exercise of this chapter. So goodbye everyone. Thank you to all.